Valmiki Ramayana, Bala Kanda, Book 1, Sarga 53, 53, Roman numerals LIII. Vishvamitra's request. Thus charged, O slayer of thy foes, the cow from whom all plenty flows, obedient to her saintly lord, viands to suit each taste outpoured. Honey she gave, and roasted grain, mead sweet with flowers and sugar cane. Each beverage of flavor rare, and food of every sort were there. Hills of hot rice, and sweetened cakes, and curdled milk, and soup in lakes, vast beakers foaming to the brim, with sugared drink prepared for him, and dainty sweetmeats deftly made before the hermit's guests were laid. So well regaled, so nobly fed, the mighty army banqueted, and all the train, from chief to least, delighted in Vasishta's feast. Then Vishvamitra, royal sage, surrounded by his vassalage, prince, peer, and counselor, and all, from highest lord to lowest thrall, thus feasted, to Vasishta cried, with joy supremely gratified. Rich honor I, thus entertained, most honorable lord, have gained. Now hear, before I journey hence, my words, O skilled in eloquence. But for 100,000 kine, let dapple skin, O saint, be mine. A wondrous jewel is thy cow, and gems are for the monarch's brow. To me, her rightful lord resign. This dapple skin thou callest thine. The great Vasishta thus addressed, arch hermit of the holy breast. To Vishvamitra answer made, the king whom all the land obeyed. Not for 100,000, nay, not if 10,000,000 thou wouldst pay. With silver heaps the price to swell, will I my cow, O monarch, sell. Unmeet for her is such a fate, that I, my friend, should alienate. As glory with the virtuous she for ever makes her home with me. On her mine offerings which ascend to gods and spirits all depend. My very life is due to her, my guardian, friend, and minister. The feeding of the sacred flame, the dole which living creatures claim, the mighty sacrifice by fire, each formula the rites require. And various saving lore beside are by her aid in sooth supplied. The banquet which thy host has shared, believe it, was by her prepared. In her mind only treasures lie. She cheers mine heart and charms mine eye. And reasons more could I assign why dapple skin can ne'er be thine. The royal sage his suit denied, with eloquence more earnest cried. Tusked elephants, a goodly train, each with a golden girth and chain, whose goads with gold well-fashioned shine. Of these be twice 7,000 thine, and 4 horse cars with gold made bright, with steeds most beautifully white, whose bells make music as they go. 800 saint will I bestow. 11,000 mettled steeds from famous lands of noble breeds. These will I gladly give, O thou, devoted to each holy vow. 10,000,000 heifers fair to view, whose sides are marked with every hue. These in exchange will I assign, but let thy dapple skin be mine. Ask what thou wilt, and piles untold of priceless gems and gleaming gold, O best of Brahmans, shall be thine, but let thy dapple skin be mine. The great Vasishtha, thus addressed, made answer to the king's request. Ne'er will I give my cow away, my gem, my wealth, my life and stay, my worship at the moon's first show, and at the full to her I owe, and sacrifices small and great, which largesse due, and gifts await. From her alone their root, O King, my rights and holy service spring. What boots it further words to say? I will not give my cow away, who yields me what I ask each day. Wow, absolutely beautiful. Valmiki Ramayana, translation from Sanskrit to British by Ralph Griffith, 1800s, beautiful British. Footnotes 64.1b. Of old hoards and minerals in the earth, the king is entitled to half by reason of his general protection, and because he is the Lord paramount of the soil. Manu, Book 839. 65.1. Ghee or clarified butter, holy oil, being one of the essentials of sacrifice. 65.2. A Brahman had 5 principal duties to discharge every day: study and teaching the Veda, oblations to the manes or spirits of the departed, sacrifice to the gods, hospitable offerings to men, and a gift of food to all creatures. The last consisted of rice or other grain, which the Brahman was to offer every day outside his house in the open air. Manu, Book 3, 70, Goresio. 65.3. These were certain sacred words of invocation, such as Svaha, Vashat, etc., pronounced at the time of sacrifice. Jai. So in Vedic times, the cows were so important for the Vedic sacrifices to the gods because cows produce immense quantities of ghee or clarified butter that is essential for the fire sacrifices. Okay, these are the original fire sacrifices that were done every single day by the Brahmins to please the God, one God, Vishnu, and as well as his parts, his different energies or demigods. So, majority of the sacrifices did not involve some bloodletting, some primitive bloodletting like present day Abrahamic religions. Always, the notion when you mention the word sacrifice is always some bloodletting, killing some stupid animal, and the whole thing is bloody and primitive and stupid. And this is the whole point of studying the Vedas, to understand the ancient histories and to understand how things were done. Of course, there were some sacrifices of the animals, but primarily every single day was done through ghee, through throwing oblations of the ghee and grains into the fire, into the Agni. Agni is the mouth of Lord Vishnu. This was the main way of doing sacrifices by the Brahmins, who were all vegetarians. The Brahmana class, they must be vegetarians. They must have compassion. Kshatriyas are not required. Okay, so many things to talk about. Later. Ciao.